Hi. What are you doing here? Oh my God! You still don't know the future simple! It's ridiculous! Okay, so my name is Mr. Mark and I'll squeeze you like a lemon. I'll force you to learn English, okay? So let's move on to the future simple and its questions and negatives today, alright? So what you have to know is the formula. The formula in negatives that will plus not gives won't. And this is the contraction form, because will plus not, like will not, is very formal. Nobody says that in conversation, alright? Very, very formal, guys. Okay, so let's move on to the samples, some examples, alright? So look at the board. Every family will have a robot at home in 50 years. So it's like prediction, alright? We predict something. So this is the question in the future simple. We have will, alright? And now we'll have to put this question in a negative form. So every family will not have a robot at home in 50 years. Somebody might not agree with me, alright? And they will say will not. So, but according to this formula, we can erase will not and put won't, alright? Won't have a robot at home in 50 years. Look at another example. I put here itil. So it plus will is itil, alright? Or I plus will is I'll, and we plus will is will. So we can contract it and il and will. So itil, alright? Itil not have a robot at home in 50 years. Or I'll not have a robot at home in 50 years. Let's move on to another example. Jack will start learning English when pigs fly. So pigs fly is such an idiom that means almost never. So when pigs fly, can you imagine pig flying pig? Can you? You can, I know. But pigs cannot fly, so Jack will never start learning English. So we can't say that Jack won't never start learning English. It's incorrect, because in English we can't use double negation. Can't use double negation. We can't say Jack won't never start learning English, alright? And look at this example with won't. So Jack won't start learning English. So he doesn't care about English, okay? He wants to be a garbage man. Ha! This is Jack. And he doesn't need English. So Jack won't start learning English. So let's move on to questions in the future simple. Okay guys, let's continue. And here we have 5 types of questions in the future simple, alright? So there are 5 types of questions. General question, special question, question to the subject, alternative, and the tech question. So let's analyze all the questions in detail, alright? So let's take an example. The same example that we had before. Jack will study English. So now we'll have to ask the general question. What is the general question? The general question is the question to the whole sentence. Here is the sentence, and we have to ask the general question. So will Jack study English? So we exchange the subject and predicate. Here is the subject and here is the predicate. So the predicate will, we put for the first place in the question, in the general question. So, and now we'll have, will Jack study English? So to every question, to any sentence, we can ask only one general question. Only one, not two, not three, one. Okay, so let's go further. Here we have the special question. So do you remember what the special question is? The special question is that question that we start from such pronouns, question pronouns, what, where, when, why, whose, how much, how many. Okay? So WH words, WH pronouns. Okay, so let's imagine that there is no English here. No English, and we'll have to find out. So instead of English, we put what? Then we'll have the same order as in the general question. So what, then will, then Jack, then study. Okay? Here, will Jack study? Will Jack study? But instead of English, it's what? That's it, guys. Very easy. Okay. So you can ask, for example, what will Jack do? If there is no study English, what will Jack do? All right? Did you get it?
I hope so.
Okay, so let's move on the third question. The third question, the question to the subject. Imagine that we don't have any information about Jack. So there is no Jack, okay? No Jack. So if there is no Jack, we just put who instead of Jack. Okay, who will study English? And the question mark. Very easy, huh? Who will study English? Miracle! Magic! Okay? Who will study English? Okay? Only one question to the subject is possible to make up in any sentence. Only one. Not two, not three, one. Not two, not three, one. Okay? So, let's move on to the next one. The next one is alternative. Alternative question is that question that we can make a choice. When we can make a choice between something, it's an alternative question. So here we have or, okay? We have two alternatives. So will Jack or Mr. Mark? Maybe another Mr. Mark, not me, of course, another. Yeah, will Jack or Mr. Mark study English? Okay, two alternatives. Or you can ask another question. Will Jack will Jack study English or Japanese or Chinese, Portuguese, Lebanese? Anyway, yeah. So let's move on to the last question. The last question is a tag question or a disjunctive question. The tag question is such a question when we have like a tail, it's not a tail, but in grammar it's tag. Okay, at the end of the sentence we put a comma and we ask like won't he, or for example if the question is in positive we have a negative tag, or if the sentence is in negative we have a positive tag. So for example, Jack will study English, won't he? Yes? Or if we had it in negative, it would be will he. So for example, Jack won't study English, will he? Okay guys, so your questions for the next time. Mary will play the piano tomorrow. Negation and 5 questions in the comments below, alright? So, not to miss my videos, subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it with my friends and followers, and see you soon!